Hello and welcome to Tale on the Air. I'm Sean, the Fox in the Fedora, and we're here for another fun-filled, thrill-filled season of Champions RPG. For those who don't know, Champions is kind of like Dungeons & Dragons, only with superheroes, similar to the characters you'd find in Marvel or DC Comics. As it was explained in the intro, I will be known as Director Fox, and this season I will send out 4 players, aka heroes, on missions to save the world or go out and stop ongoing atrocities or crimes or something of the like. Now there is a set ending that the heroes are trying to get to, and I will help steer them to that ending, but the rest of the game is a combination of their imagination and mine. As the game master, I can accept or reject a decision that the players make. Our heroes all have 3 lives and 4 hit points per life. The hit points cannot be taken away if they, miss a bus they had to get on or something. The hit points can be taken away if the bus is dropped on top of them, or they sustain damage during a fight. Lose the 4 hit points, and they lose a life. Lose all 3 lives, and they're out of the game. If all players lose, the villain wins. But let's not try for that ending, shall we? Now without further ado, let us begin. Disc. Forgot about it. Untrusting of it, I grab a spare laptop I keep for basically unimportant things, to check if things have viruses or, bugs or whatever, and place it into the drive. What comes up on the screen causes my eyes to go wide and my jaw to drop. It's from Dr. Destroyer. A message saying that if anything were to happen to him, this is to be delivered to a specific person. In this file are records and documents kept by Zerstoiten on a particular individual. That individual is the creation of Dr. Destroyer. And that person, that creation, is a member of PAC. I look at the identity of the person and I can hardly believe my eyes. How could we have missed this? There were background checks after background checks done. It doesn't make any sense. Is this a trick, a ruse by Zerstoiten? But to what end? He's never even met us. He was trapped in Multifaria for years. I roll the idea in my mind over and over, but it always comes up the same. Whether Zerstoiten survived the battle with Shadow Destroyer or not, the fact of the matter is, this member of PAC is heir to the fortune, followers, inventions, and schemes of the greatest supervillain who ever lived. Suddenly, in the middle of my trying to figure out what to do next, I get a strange feeling. A familiar feeling I felt while in Multifaria. A feeling I couldn't previously feel because it was masked from my natural senses. Shadow Destroyer is in Millennium City. So, it was you. All this time it was you. I stand at the bottom of the steps leading up to the apartment building, facing the man who is Shadow Destroyer. The man, realizing he's been caught, turns around calmly and looks down at me. I was hoping I was wrong, but the facts don't lie. I stare back at the man, into the face of James Harmon. Alright, welcome team. Here is your mission. The United Nations has finally decided to take action against dictator and shaman Joseph Otanga, leader of the small African nation of Lugendu. As you may know, one of our own, Somni, was sent in on a top-secret mission to gain intel on rumored dealings between Otanga and the remaining forces of the Occultum terrorist organization. This investigation was prompted after last year's attempted assassination of the neighboring country's president using magic similar to what hearsay describes Otanga using, and after Lugendian military official Colonel Ibori was seen making deals with corrupt industrialist Franklin Stone and the supercriminal known as the Perfect Man. Somni was successful in sending us hard evidence that the Occultum, currently being led by Kodion since we imprisoned their leader, my evil twin Janos Corrigan, is supplying Otanga with weapons to be used in what looks like the beginning of Otanga's grand scheme to conquer all of Africa. However, before Somni could escape and rendezvous with the evac team, she was captured by Otanga's forces. Sources now say she's being held in a small village currently under Colonel Ibori's control. Now that the UN has stepped up, we've been given the go-ahead to rescue Somni and help liberate the country. The Allied forces currently have Lugendu surrounded, but Otanga shows no signs of surrender. But no matter the weapons or the magic that he may have, we still must prevail. Somni and the subjugated people of Lugendu are counting on us. We have a transport waiting to take you and your respective vehicles to Lugendu. You will then launch a full-scale attack to break through the enemy lines and rush the village. After you rescue Somni and begin the liberation, make your way to the capital at the center of the country. If you can, bring both Kodion and Otanga in alive. We need to figure out why Lugendu is such an interest of the Occultum right now. With that, good luck, and be careful. Okay, you guys got that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, Otanga wants to freaking mess with my soulmate. He's got a hell of a storm to deal with now.
And welcoming back to the second season of Tale on the Air Champions, we have the Divine Lupine, Bestia, and of course, Somni.
Hello.
I can see that you parked Lockout in the parking lot again.
I did. His tail is wagging like crazy. He knows that stuff's about to go down.
We gotta put him on a cargo plane.
Lovely. He's scared of heights. This'll be fun.
Don't worry, we can blindfold him.
And introducing for the first time, the newest recruit to pack, Midnight Flower.
Hello.
And for people out there listening, her power is that she's able to control plant life. All plant life.
And I read on your file that you are good with a bow?
Bow staff, yes.
Before we get going, I have to give you guys one other thing. A friend of Captain Frankman's, Dr. Scientist is his name, has gadgets for you. Some extra firepower for out in the field. First up is a gadget called the Umbrella. It looks like an ordinary umbrella, but it's actually a close-range mini freeze ray. Fire it at an enemy and you'll stop them cold. Don't worry though, you won't kill them. It's based on cryogenic sleep studies, I think. Next up, we have the splatter gun. This weapon fires sticky traps that will immobilize any adversary. And finally, this.
What is it?
It's just a frickin' rubber band.
What kind of doctor are we talking about again?
I have no idea. Ask him when he gets back from his coffee break.
He's friends with Frank, man. I'm not surprised.
Alright, you can only take two.
So both of these can immobilize. One just freezes and the other one just immobilizes with a trap.
There are admittedly a lot of things you can do with a rubber band.
Okay, I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but we never know what the rubber band can be used for.
Okay.
I suggest we take the splatter gun because you can use it more.
Okay, rubber band. Oh, I'm sorry. Frickin' rubber band and the splatter gun. Got it. Now that you've chosen your gadgets, there is a plane waiting to take you to Nahambane, and from there, you will begin the march inwards towards the capital of Lugendu. And good luck, and I hope you'll find Somni before it's too late.
Oh, I will be sure to find Somni. If I figure out that he played one freaking finger on her, he's going to have to deal with me, and he's not going to have a happy day.
Alright. About 4 days later, in a small village in Lugendu, Somni is tied up in a chair in one of the huts. She is tired, weak, hungry, and has a neural inhibitor on her head. This prevents her from using any of her powers. Suddenly, a soldier enters and throws water in her face.
Really? Really?
The soldier steps back, and Somni comes face to face with the big man himself, Joseph Otanga.
What do you want?
Otanga says that's not the question he's here to answer. What he wants to know is, what are you doing here?
What made you think I'm gonna tell you?
Otanga merely smirks as another man enters the room carrying a satchel. Somni watches as the man opens the satchel, and she spies several nasty-looking objects.
Oh, that's fun.
As the torturer begins laying out his equipment, Otanga goes on to tell you that when he was a boy, his uncle told him of a legend. Long ago, the gods descended upon what is now Lugendu, and bestowed a great power to those who served them without question. This power, they told them, was to be used to help others in need, but it could also be used to bring order to the chaotic continent, or bring order to the world, if used properly by the Right, man, of course. That power has since belonged to him, and him alone. And he is not going to let anyone take it from him. So he asks you again, what is your mission here?
Yeah, no, I'm not telling you.
Otanga becomes irritated by your stubbornness. He tells you he's going to break you one way or another. First, he'll use his magic to turn you into something pathetic, like a mouse. Then he'll let his man over there have at you.
You know what? Whatever.
Otanga nods over to his torturer to prepare his tools while he prepares a spell, when all of a sudden, a man rushes in. You recognize this man from previous reports. It's Colonel Libori, the man who tried to make a deal with Franklin Stone for the nuclear villains. He tells Otanga that he must go right now. There's something coming their way. Otanga, trusting his colonel, quickly departs. Outside, however, a number of soldiers are firing back at the intruders. A war rig driven by Midnight Flower, and Bestia riding on Locke.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
I'm surprised that you are letting me drive this thing. This is your baby.
Hey, you just keep driving, I'll shoot, okay?
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's see. How many enemies are you guys going to have to deal with that are on the front line here? Okay, I've rolled an 11. So what we have here is basically you're being charged by 11 soldiers. Because Lugendu is surrounded, Otanga's men are thinned out, so thankfully there isn't that many here. So you have 11 soldiers to deal with. Now the question is, how will you deal with these enemies? Let's start with Lupine and Midnight, since you're teamed up.
Midnight, I want you to perform maneuvers with the war rig, give me position, and I'll gun them down.
All right.
Alright, Midnight's going to drive the rig into position, and then Lupine's going to fire. Let's see if that works. Okay, we're off to a good start. It's a 10.
Yes!
Wow, I'm actually surprised at my own driving skills because I've never driven anything before.
Don't get cocky!
She manages to get into position, and he mows them down.
Eat like sons of guns! Eat it! Eat it!
You manage to take out the 11 soldiers that are coming at you, but it doesn't look like we're quite done yet. Let's see what comes at you next. Okay, looks like Otanga doesn't want anybody rescuing Somni because he's just sent out, from the jungle, 5 tanks.
Oh my.
Bestia, you got him!
Yes, sir.
How are you going to deal with the 5 tanks?
I'm riding a T-Rex. What do you think I'm gonna do?
Okay, can you describe it for the audience?
Okay. So, Locke is going to stomp the first 2. He's gonna tail whip the other 2, and then I'm going to leap off his back and then hijack the last one.
Okay, so now we'll have a tank. Cool. Alright, let's see if that works.
Hey, it helps.
That's gonna be a 13. They fire back first.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's minus 25.
Bestia, you alright?
I'm fine.
Okay, so she's gonna need a moment to recover. Let's go back to War Rig team.
Alright.
All right.
Ohava, since this thing's much faster than their turrets, get behind them and we'll destroy their fuel tanks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. It's a 2!
Yes!
Victory!
This little puppy went into the market, this little puppy went home, this one had roast beef, and this one went to hell!
You are terrifying.
All the explosions! Somewhere Michael Bay is happy.
Screw him.
Alright, so the tanks are dealt with, the bad guys are taken out, and with that, the villagers actually come out from hiding.
They're not scared of the T-Rex?
They're a little scared of the T-Rex, but they're more thankful that Otanga's men just got taken out because, you know, those guys were jerks. And that's putting it nicely. So the village leader comes over and tells you that he's thankful for the rescue. However, you need to find Somni. before it's too late. Thank you for watching Tale on the Air. The characters and world of the Champions RPG are owned by their respective owners. The characters created by our contestants are owned solely by the contestants. The Fox and the Fedora, Tale on the Air, Director Fox, and all characters connected with that character are all owned by Sean Basinger and Z Media Productions.